order to escape from the police. The gangster hurriedly threw the flour in his hand to the scavenger ant and the police did not notice the scene. So not only did she get 20 pounds of paper shells, she also got 10 pounds of high-priced black flour. But what's even more bizarre is that the mom didn't give the flour to the police because her partner had just passed away and her life had become even more difficult, and seeing the flour was like winning the lottery. Afterwards, she returned the flour to the gangster, who didn't react for a moment when she saw the old woman with the folds on her face. Auntie then explained why she was here. She wanted to sell the flour together. The gangster didn't realize that Auntie had more brains than he did. Auntie explained that the boss's men were all wanted criminals, while the old woman was clean. No one would expect an old woman to be in this dangerous business. The boss thought it made sense, and without hesitation, he cut off 2 pounds of flour and gave it to Auntie. After all, it was the first time we worked together, so we had to test the waters first. And we could only give her a 10% commission, which would be increased if she performed well. The interview was successful, and she agreed happily. However, no one could have imagined that she would soon become the top seller in the flour industry. But when she got home, she began to worry about the flour, which she was required to divide into 2 grams and sell slowly. But when she was done, a new problem arose. When she talked to the boss, she forgot to find out how much a gram of this shit cost. She had no choice but to ask her son-in-law, who was a policeman, for information. So she found an excuse to sneak into his file room and saw the market price of the same type of flour. Now everything was ready, but who to sell it to was a problem for the old lady. So she had to go to the red light district, where there were a lot of thugs, and try her luck. So she puts on her red hat and sunglasses and asks if she wants to try the Mexican black flour. But the punks didn't dare to buy it. They all thought the old lady was an undercover cop. After all, there are always punks who aren't afraid to die. So the old lady finally made her first sale because her flour was sufficiently large and pure, and she didn't have to worry about it. Her reputation was instantly recognized and the flour was sold out in no time. When she took the money to the gang leader, his men were shocked that so many people couldn't sell it to one old woman. Auntie got her 10% commission. When the boss saw such a talented salesman, he immediately gave her more goods. With this, she'll be living in a luxury villa in less than a month and hiring 88 male babysitters, which will be even more enjoyable. However, as soon as she left the gang leader's lair, the next moment, the police dog that was looking for her smelled the flour and bit into her bag. Luckily, her son-in-law was nearby, which allowed her to escape from death. But what makes people even more worried is that for her safety, his son-in-law even thoughtfully carried her satchel and wanted to send her home. Auntie's heart was in her throat, but luckily her son-in-law didn't find out the big secret in the bag. From then on, Auntie became the chief spokesperson for the red light district. But there were pros and cons, but her ability stole the jobs of her boys. One day, some of the boys picked up Auntie and beat her up, not only for her goods, but also for her money. Luckily, she wasn't robbed of her sex, and they said that if she ever robbed again, she'd have to go to God's place to report. Battered and bruised, she was devastated. How was she going to pay her boss with nothing to show for it? But she thought for a while and a brilliant idea popped up. Translated with Deep L. Calm, free version.